Good morning, everyone. My name is Ava Gabrielle Wise, and I want to welcome you to our 2022 Bridges Conference, the Building Resilience and Investment and Growth in the Southeast region. I'm welcome. If this is your first time joining us, we did do it in 2021, in February of last year. But if this is your first time joining us, welcome. I wanted to give you kind of a little bit of background. I won't get into a great deal of the historical background, the long-term historical background, because there are several presenters today who will kind of take us down the long journey that it has taken for us to get to this point. But I do want to point out a couple of things. So Dealey, who's in charge of the PowerPoint? Is that me or you? How does that, can I switch the slides?
I am in charge of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I will switch the slides.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I won't be before you long. I just kind of want to make sure everyone's on the same page, because I know that we have a range of experiences and awareness of the role of federal commissions, of this particular commission, of the work that has been done around the region by so many to get us to the point of having a commission. I want to first acknowledge our co-hosts for today. I want to thank you to EPA, U.S. Endowment, SEEP, the Rural Studies Institute, NATO, and I think I've captured everyone's, but I want to welcome you guys and thank you for supporting this effort to share the information that needs to happen in the region, needs to be shared among the region, so that we can get our region equipped for this commission as it comes. You can go ahead and start moving through the slides, Dealey. By way of just a little background so that we're all on the same page, this effort has been coming for a very long time. As I'm watching the names that are registering for this event, it is exciting because I see many of the faces, many of the names, and it's bringing the faces back to my memory of so many folks who have worked on this effort for so long across this region. This is the Federal Commission. Southeast Crescent Regional Commission was created, finally activated in 2021, after being created in 2008, but after being advocated and supported and by so many people across the region over decades. And many of them are in the room. Some of them you'll hear from today. I just get to be fortunate enough to be the first person to bring them back before you once again. And that is my role today. And I'm really excited to have the opportunity to do that. Just by virtue of a little bit of detail about what the Southeast Crescent Regional Commission is, so that we can all be on the same page. The Southeast Crescent Regional Commission is a regional federal commission like many of the others that exist, of course, the standard bearer being the Appalachian Regional Commission, but it is a federally funded economic development intermediary in partnership with 7 southern states, and I'll share with you which those states are soon, that will focus on targeted strategic investments that have the potential to stimulate growth in economically resistant areas of the Southeast region of the United States. The Southeast Crescent Regional Commission, as I said earlier, you can go to the next slide, was created in 2008. It started with a lot of advocacy. There were 2 professors. How it really kind of got its legs was there were 2 professors who traveled to Tuskegee University, one of my favorite places in the United States, traveled to Tuskegee University to make the case that a federal commission was an appropriate economic development intermediary for the Southeast region of the United States. That was way back in 1991, believe it or not. In 1994, Congressman Earl Hilliard from the same state introduced the first legislation to create a federal regional commission for the Southeast region of the United States. And of course, was unsuccessful, but it sparked a conversation that has continued in elected offices, in universities, in community-based groups and practitioners and think tanks, in state agencies, federal agencies across this region. From that day to this, folks have been advocating. So if I were to say anything about this federal commission. Federal commissions are, in fact, a federal agency that have a regional focus in this case, in stimulating growth in the Southeast region of the United States. The distinction I would make about this particular commission, however, is that it really kind of was a bottoms up effort. It was a grassroots effort. It was the people of the region who have continually, over these last several decades, appealed to our federal government to give us the same relief that the Appalachian region has seen. And so, as I share with you that relief, I share with you the standard bearer, which is the Appalachian Regional Commission. Over the last 50 plus years, since 1964, the Appalachian Regional Commission has received about $4 billion in direct federal investment that has spanned, of course, the Appalachian Regional Highway, which was the first most important thing that needed to be done in that region to connect the region geographically, that was geographically isolated from the commerce and trade of the rest of the nation. So the Appalachian Regional Commission Highway was designed to cut through those mountains and minimize and reduce that economic isolation that the region was experiencing. With the opening up of that region with that highway, then came all of the economic development incentives that you can imagine that have made a tremendous impact on the people of that region. One of the things that I read in a recent study is that the Appalachian Regional Commission can be directly attributed to rural counties in its coverage area, experiencing a faster rate of economic growth than counties that could be just next door in the same region. You can go. The Appalachian Regional Commission, as I said earlier, focuses on targeted strategic investments to stimulate growth and innovation, and it invests in industry diversification, workforce development and training, leadership development. Over the course of the day, you're going to hear a number of exciting kind of initiatives and programs that have been developed under that agency to that commission to make investment in the Appalachian region of the country. The 7 states that are covered by this commission are Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. And by mandate, here's the governance model for the commission. It's just like the Appalachian Regional Commission has a federal co-chair and an alternate federal chairperson. It says never appointed, but that changed on December 9th, 2021, the federal co-chair for the Southeast Crescent Regional Commission was appointed. We are proud to say that Dr. Jennifer Clyburn Reed from South Carolina is our first federal co-chair for the Southeast Crescent Regional Commission. And as a region, we could not be more enthusiastic and happy of this moment. The state co-chair for the commission, I don't believe has been selected yet, but it will come from one of the 7 participating states. It'll be one of the governors of the 7 participating states. And then, of course, they will hire an executive director. The decisions of the committee are to be made by the votes of the federal co-chair and the majority of the state members. The functions of the commission. So these are really important, right? These are the legislatively mandated functions of almost every regional federal commission. But how these activities play out will change from region to region, right? So first is to assess the needs and assets of the region, to develop economic and infrastructure development strategies as a basis for priorities and approving grants, because ultimately, of course, this is a grant-making agency. Establish development priorities, including 5-year outcome targets, enhance the capacity and provide support for local development districts in the region and foster the creation of such districts if none exist. Encourage private investments in the region projects, assist states in preparing economic and infrastructure development plans, formulate and recommend forms for interstate cooperation and appropriate international cooperation, and work with states and localities to develop model legislation to enhance local and regional economic development. I know that there are a lot of folks who are connected to this coalition who find that particular piece to be very intriguing. So what are the program goals? The primary goals of the Regional Federal Commission are transportation infrastructure, basic public infrastructure, telecommunications infrastructure, which we'll hear a lot about today, I'm sure, job skills training, employment education, technology, and business. Now, mind you, these are the things that are specifically stated in the federal legislation that created this commission. And I introduce you to Dr. Jennifer. Did I miss a slide? Was that a slide? Did I miss a slide, Dealing? I think there was one. Yeah, there are a couple more. Programs like to assistance for severely distressed areas, needing resources for healthcare and public services, to promote conservation, tourism, and open space, to promote renewable and alternative energy sources, another really important program criteria mandated by federal legislations. And then that all important other purposes of the bill. That's always one that people like to see when they can't figure out what to do. Now we can go. I'd like to introduce you to our first federal co-chair, Dr. Jennifer Clyburn-Reed. At some point in the future, when we do another event, she's very new, of course. She has been on the job all of 2 months. And as many of you may not be aware, the job of standing up this commission is hers. This commission has, unlike many of the other federal co-chairs that have existed in the other commissions, being the first for this commission that has not yet been activated, she has a massive job ahead of her to stand up this institution. And so it will be a, we intend to support her, be an ally to her, be there to support this initiative, and give her all of the space and support that she needs to bring this commission to fruition. But we are extremely excited about her leadership. Is that it? So with that said, so the last thing that I will share with you is about the authorization for the commission was $30 million when it was first created, and it received $250,000 from the time that it was created up until 2020. In 2020, that's kind of how we knew that we were finally being heard and this initiative was getting to take hold, because it went to from $250,000 to $1 million in the 2021 budget. And then we understand that it is now $5 million in the 2022 budget. And so she will have not a lot of resources for grant making, but she will have the resources that she needs to stand up the institution and get ready for business and for operations. And it is our hope that as a region, as a coalition, that we will support her in helping the Congress to understand how important it is that that the commission has the appropriation that it needs, the meaningful appropriation that it needs in order to truly be effective in the region. I will tell you a little bit about this coalition, and then I'm going to hand it off. This coalition came together following a summit in 2019, where we came together on the Hill to talk about how to finally bring this commission to fruition. And I was there, joined by several of the state's governor's offices, some federal congressional offices. NATO was there, who you'll hear from later, and several other interested parties in this. And we started to talk about strategy. In 2020, we went around the region to bring you into this process, and you have come in the most amazing and supportive ways. We were joined by Aspen, the U.S. Endowment, Aspen Institute, SEEP, Rural Studies Institute, worked with me to kind of form a working group, and we started making appeals to President Biden. With your support, you joined us, signed a petition. The transition team acknowledged us. Many of the organizations who are represented there made this issue part of their agendas on their transition team meetings with the new administration. There was a full-on effort from all of you across this region to bring this commission to fruition. And in 2021, that happened. So today, our attention has turned as a coalition, our attention has turned from bringing the commission to fruition to you, to making sure that you have the information and the resources and the capacity to engage this commission as time goes forward. And that is what we see as our role today, hence the reason for the Bridges Conference. And this one is in virtual. We'll do another one that is in person later in the year.